What's up, guys? Python here, back with another video, and today we're doing another trade deadline top 5 as we head closer and closer to the deadline here at March 3rd, 3 p.m. Eastern. So we're getting close. Might as well start talking some more names, talking some more guys that the New York Rangers could go after and try to acquire at this year's deadline to help make the team deeper and fill out the roster because they desperately need some help. So yesterday we looked at the depth forwards that would help them in the bottom 6. Today we're going to be looking at more of the middle 6 guys that can help them fill out those second and third line roles, and maybe even could be on the first line if they need them to. And just like in yesterday's video, if you didn't watch it, go ahead and check that video out. I'll link it in the description. Go ahead and check it out because like I did in that video, we are going to rank them in order of what I think is least likely to most likely to happen out of all of these names. There's a pipe dream in this one, so I just want to clear that out of the way, which we'll talk about in a second. But before we jump into the video further, remember to leave a like if you do enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But let's now talk about this. So the first name that I'm going to talk about at the number 5 spot, again, a pipe dream this guy is, but we have Jack Roslovic of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the reason that I say this is a pipe dream is because of the fact that he's making $4 million not only this year but for next season as well. So the Rangers would have to get Columbus to retain salary, be willing to for a year and a half, which is going to be difficult in itself, number one. Number two, Jack Roslovic is from the area, grew up a Blue Jackets fan, so it's going to be hard for the Blue Jackets to say, yeah, we're willing to trade Jack Roslovic, a homegrown, or not homegrown, but a hometown hero, hometown kid. Going to be hard to trade a guy like that, because it's hard for the Columbus Blue Jackets to find players that are willing to play for them to begin with. So the trade one that is going to be difficult. But I look at this more as a scenario of just like last year, the Tampa Bay Lightning with Brandon Hagel. If the Rangers could pull this off, this is a great move because you have a guy under control for an extra season. And in this season so far, he has 27 points, 4 goals, 23 assists, having a weird season when it comes to the goal totals, where last season he scored over 20 goals. So a little bit of a dip in goals. And usually he's on pace for about 12. He's good to give you 9 to 12 goals a year. That's what he's given throughout his entire career pretty much. So yeah, it's not a surprise that the goal totals have gone down. But this is a guy that would fill out that middle 6 role perfectly, and you could put him on your third line. He would be a perfect center for the third line, or you could play him on the wing if you really want to. You have different options there, but regardless, I really like Jack Roslovic as a player, and I think that he would fit the Rangers great. But again, this is just more of a pipe dream scenario in my opinion, and I think it's unlikely to happen. Coming in now at the number 4 spot, we have his teammate in Gustav Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist, you do have one concern with him, and that is always him with getting a bit of injuries. I shouldn't say always getting a bit of injuries. He's been relatively healthy throughout the past few seasons, but he has had injury concerns in the past. But regardless, I think that this would be a solid pickup for the New York Rangers. He's making $5.5 million for this season, so it's going to be a lot of salary retention there. It's probably going to be half, but he's always going to give you a 50-point season, and he's always good for that. 40 to 50 points, that is where the range he is always at. Right now, he has 22 points in 48 games played, 10 goals for 12 and 12 assists for those 22 points. So he's having a very solid season, and another guy that is going to play on the wing. So he would fill out a multitude of spots for the Rangers if they decide to pick him up. He could go on that first line right wing along with Kreider and Zibanejad, or Panarin and Zibanejad, depending how they have the lines deployed, or he could play on the right of Trocheck and Kreider, depending again how the lines end up shaking out. You have that option there with them. He would most likely play in your top 6, and he does have some playoff experience as well. Played a bit with San Jose in the playoffs before, had 11 points in 20 games there. So you do have some playoff experience there with a Gustav Nyquist. Again, though, I haven't seen his name connected, so that's where I think this is more of the unlikely scenario, but remains to be seen. Coming in now at the number 3 spot, we have probably my favorite choice of them all on this list. We have Max Domi of the Chicago Blackhawks. I think that this would be your perfect pickup considering the type of season that he's having. Yeah, Max Domi's having a sick season right now. In 48 games played, has 14 goals, 21 assists for 35 points. And yeah, he is annoying to play against. He is very annoying for other teams to play against. Would be a little awkward considering the whole Barclay Goodrow marrying his wife situation there, or his ex-girlfriend, I should say, situation there. But regardless, if you do get Max Domi to play for you, they saw him last year with the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs, who had 6 points in 14 games for them. They saw him a bit there, but yeah, they know how annoying he is, but he would be really fun to watch for the Rangers, and he could slot in that top 6 role as well if they need him to, and he could play on the third line if they need him to. They have options there for him to play, and again, the fact that he's producing these points, very solid, but I'd imagine that he's on power play 1 in Chicago. I didn't fact check that one, but I'd imagine he is, which is helping his point production, so you could expect it to go down, but he's still probably good for a 50-point season this year, and he's always good for a 40 to 50-point season throughout his career, outside of the outlier that he had with the Columbus Blue Jackets in his first stint there, but he also was dealing with, he was dealing with injuries. It was a shortened season that year, so there is also that to take into account, but regardless, he's always good to give you 40, 50-point season otherwise. Next, at number 2, we have of the St. Louis Blues, Ivan Barbashev, and his brother, Maxim Barbashev, was drafted by the New York Rangers this past year, so Barbashev's a weird one. I think that he's one of the more likely candidates, which is why he ends up at number 2. Has, of course, a Stanley Cup under his belt with the St. Louis Blues in that 18-19 season, had 6 points in 25 games played during that Stanley Cup final run. Doesn't produce a lot of points, outside of last season where he had a weird 60-point season, which was just outstanding for Barbashev, but he's probably realistically going to give you 30 to 40 points at the end of the season by the time it's done. Right now, he's sitting at 24 points in 51 games played, 9 goals, 15 assists. So, again, a bit of a weird year considering he had 60 points last year. You thought, oh, maybe this is his coming out party and he's going to end up being this type of player going forward, but unfortunately for him, it has not been that way. But again, another guy who's flexible. He can play literally every position. He can play center. He can play left wing. He can play right wing. He brings you the most versatility of them all. And if St. Louis is selling, yeah, you got to be in on a guy like Ivan Barbashev, no question. And I'm pretty sure he could also help you defensively as well. I'm not too sure about that. But again, another name that is to look out for. And coming in at the number 1 spot, it's weird to have him in this type of video because I look at him as more of a depth piece, but it seems like the Rangers, I feel like, would maybe play him in the top 6 and give him that chance just because of his rookie season, or his rookie season, if you will. That being Tanner Jeannot of the Nashville Predators. And listen, this is not my favorite target at all, as he has 13 points in 48 games played, 5 goals, 8 assists. But his rookie season, very good. 24 goals, 17 assists for 41 points in 81 games played. Very solid for his rookie season. But the year before that, in 15 games played, he had 7 points in 15 games played. So very solid production from Tanner Jeannot. Outside of the season, I don't know why the point production has gone down for him, but you're probably looking at him finishing the year with 25 to 30 points, and if you could get that out of him, that would be still very solid for a deadline pickup for you to get 5 to 10 points out of him. Again, I don't know what type of role that he's going to play in, and he's another one who is a pain to play against if the Rangers did acquire him. That is another thing that you can look out for there. And again, the only downside is that point production has gone down, so it's going to be interesting to see what type of production that you get from him if you do acquire him. But that's going to be it for me. Another shorter video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who did I miss from the list? Who is your favorite from this list? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. Remember to leave a like again on the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications if you did enjoy this one as well, so you know when I upload next, because we're going to come out with more videos the next 2 days with the trade deadline. So be on the lookout for all of those. Thank you guys so much for watching this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.